This is Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. We're going through an early look and guided tour of what this world of Pandora has to offer, with the first half of the video going over my thoughts on this absolutely breathtaking game, and the latter half being non-commentary, just in case you want to take in the world without having to hear me talk. Whatever you fancy, I thought this was the best way to showcase this game, because yes, it is just absolutely visually stunning. So this was an early look at the game provided by Ubisoft, so some things I am not allowed to share, some things I'm not allowed to show, but I was largely given a completely open few-hour adventure across this world without very many constraints, without very many things holding me back, and it left me really just wanting to see more, because this game is amazing. It really genuinely is. It's breathtaking. Like I had mentioned, it's gorgeous. If you've seen my other stuff, I've talked about Avatar in the past. I'm not necessarily like one of those crazy into the world of Avatar individuals, the movies. I'm kind of like, whatever. But I just really was genuinely blown away by the experience that I had taking a look at this game early. I was completely surprised in every single metric and way. They really did put together something wonderful and special here, where I think even if you're not necessarily familiar and or caring about the film type properties, you can absolutely just get lost in this stunning world. Gotta come up with more fancy words to say, but no, it really is remarkable. You are venturing through this really reactive world, and you'll see that a lot later on, and particularly some of the beauty shots I have towards the end of the video in the non-commentary area. But like everything in the environment reacts to you as you're moving through it. You see the winds, like the plants, the fauna, everything moving around. But as you walk with your character in the world too, as you brush up against things, as you move into things, plants will react to your presence and will present you with maybe even some goods and things that you can collect and gather. And then the animals will react to you, and there's hunting and there's exploration. It's sort of a little bit of a Far Cry meets Avatar sort of thing, but I think it does go a little beyond that in my opinion. But it's got all the moments of Avatar, the kind of the bonding of the creatures, the connection to the natural world, everything you would kind of expect from that sort of universe is being presented here within this game, and I thought that was just absolutely wonderful. And I wanted to show this moment here where you get to kind of choose your Ikren, and you actually have a name, and you kind of call it by that particular character. Now keep in mind, for this guided tour, a lot of stuff was preset, a lot of things were set up for me to jump in, play, experience, and see what this had to offer. So I don't really have a whole lot of context for your personalization, but I know you've got this creature you come up against, and then you're kind of just out there in the world exploring. So it is an open world. You are free to go about doing what you want. It's got the usual Ubisoft staples, as in there are bases and things to take over and things to interact with, but it's so dense, so uniquely dense. Like, you're just looking into the backdrop there, and the floating islands, the plant life, it's so like realistic in the sense of it's a sci-fi world that is so filled with depth and detail, and it's amazing. It really is. This is one of the most reactive and lively open worlds I've ever seen in a game. I really was surprised the whole way through. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And you get this really touching moment where you get to start flying around, and it's just really awesome. But like, you can just drop down on the land and you can walk around, or you can go up high in the sky and interact with the different rocks and the different places, and it's crazy. I should also mention that this is also a work in progress, what we were seeing as well, and it was really well polished and really, really well set up. So just for some context, you're with the Na'vi. You were kind of, I guess you would say, abducted and used by the humans, the RDA. And you kind of are reconnecting with your heritage, and you're exploring this world of wonder and danger, and it kind of incorporates the elements of combat that you would expect from the perspective of you having that military training where you have guns and weapons and tools like that, and then your natural connection to the world and the Na'vi, and you have like your bow, and you have stealth, and you have all this stuff you can use and all these things you can do, and it's just absolutely wondrous, the whole thing. I was blown away by it. The clouds moving in the sky, the natural world, like the weathering changes, it can rain, and then there's all these different creatures, and there's like these world events too, and it's sort of like you can interact with others. Like you might come across some random, Na'vi in nature, and you might do like an exchange or something, and it's really, really quite intriguing. It's taking concepts, again, kind of like from the idea of Far Cry, but it's transferring them into the world of Avatar in the sense that like you do hunting and you gather resources and then you can craft and build stuff. Not to the degree of like, fortresses or anything, but you're building, sort of tools, and you're improving tools, and you're gathering things, and I can't show any of that. But like, it's really, really quite interesting. And it was neat that this was so, off hands, if that makes sense. I've really appreciated that about the various Ubisoft titles I've been able to see early, is that they don't, like, restrict me in seeing things. Like, a lot of these tours, you kind of get a very specifically guided path that you go on. Whereas here, it's just a large, massive chunk of the world that you just get to take in, and it looks so cool. You might also have seen glimpses. There's a bit of a hunter vision, as to say. So the hunter vision kind of gives you a little bit of guidance and a little bit of a push in the right direction on things, and it lets you highlight things. So if you're hunting a creature, you'll see like a highlight of, say, its heart or something, or weak points, and your skills will allow you to improve and hone these skills and these talents a little bit further so that you can be more effective out there in the environment. It really is crazy. Like, I don't know if you're as blown away as I am in every single scene, but just the backdrop and everything like that. I'd love to explore more massively exciting and open worlds like this. It would be so cool to get more sci-fi type areas to visit and explore. I feel like gaming is such a perfect medium to visit otherworldly places and actually dive into them and interact with them. And this game really, really touches upon that in such an exciting way. This game really kind of came out of nowhere, and it could very well be one of the more surprising titles of what's already a really, really surprising world. It's just stunning, so much of this, like, just taking it in. And I know there's, cinematics and characters talking, and there's moments going on, there's things you're seeing, but it really is just like a calm, exciting world. Now, I don't have any context really for the story. We were kind of just dropped into like an earlier part where you first get the, kind of introduction into what's going on, and then you get the creature as we saw, and now we're kind of getting the establishment of, hey, we need to fight back against the presences that are here because they're causing all of these negatively impacting things in the world. So you're going to see in a bit here that we're going to set up a scenario where we're getting into a bit of a combat setup against the humans, and this is just kind of showing off some of the cinematic elements. Like, that is just amazing character detail and quality. Like, I don't know where this game's been sitting for years, but wow, they really have been hiding something pretty impressive, needless to say. Like, this is crazy. Like, you look at that, and you can go all over there. That's, that's gaming in general. You can visit all these places, and it's just kind of crazy because it's this level of like detail that's so impressive, and they kind of hide it well too. You get to see like the fog increase as you go high in the sky, and as you go down, the details improve a lot as well, and it's just really, really neat. I can't wait to dive into this game fully you know, when it's review time and stuff like that, because they've got really quite a stunner waiting for us. This is so crazy. Like, even just talking about this and thinking back to, like, when I was hands-on playing it, I was exhausted and tired, but I was still like, oh, okay, you've got my interest. As I was saying earlier, I really am not too crazy into the Avatar stuff like a lot of people are. I know it's a big franchise, you know, so forth, so forth. The game, I was kind of like, okay, well, let's see what they got going, and wow. It is, at least from the visual perspective, truly great looking thing. It's like, I mean, just look at this, like, it's even shadowed and covered in mist and stuff, and it still just looks gorgeous. The lighting, the detail, the trees, and it's about to get a little bit crazier here in a sec as we get into a bit of a combat scenario. That was just a setup to get us kind of, you know, rolling and everything like that, but I am really excited to go. So this is like kind of a landing situation. We're going to be boarding one of their weather monitoring type things, as the human presence is causing issues to the locals. We don't like that, so we've got to deal with it. So you do a little puzzle, these things pop up, and you kind of break them and shoot them and destroy them, and then you gotta get off because the thing's exploding and the whole thing's gonna fall down. Floof, what a funny name. Floof name just kills me. But yeah, it just looks really quite great. And I love you can get into a free fall, and you can just get your creature to pick you up. And there is combat. You have to fight against these various things in the sky, which I think we do a little bit of. And then we're going to kind of dive into combat against one of their outposts. Yeah, I hear a little bit of the aerial combat. Now keep in mind that for these demos, they do coddle us a bit, so things are easier, right? Like, they're simpler than they're going to be when you actually play the game, but they gotta make us look good, you know what I'm saying? It's just how this stuff kind of works, right? But you also, there's a neat balance in this game that I don't even think it's really shown well in my gameplay here. It's like you have to manage like stamina and food for your character and for your pet bird. Like, you gotta feed it, you gotta make sure the stamina is like upkept. So you do actually have to, you know, take care of your animal and stuff, which is interesting. Oh, this part's really funny too. So you're actually supposed to land right down there and talk to your friend. I totally skipped that and just go in on the action. So this is a little bit more of a combat driven showcase of these outposts, but you are supposed to actually trigger a story and go in and do this. But that kind of also shows a bit of the freedom to this game, because there's outposts like these. This is like a water extraction, hydro oil extractor, so you know, you get to deal with that. Just, again, these areas too, so visually detailed and full of depth. Like, the quality here is great. And then combat, we're doing a little bit aerial, and then I'm going to land and I'm going to start shooting things. So you got to fight like mechs, regular people on the ground. You have a lot of different abilities and tools and assets, and cause explosions. It's pretty cool, yeah. And it's got like a real, I don't know how to describe it, a real sort of gritty combat style to it. Like, you are actually, you know, getting in there and the gun shoots in a certain way and you gotta aim and you gotta move around and you can slide and you got all these tactical abilities. Like, it makes complete sense from a gameplay perspective how you go and do that, and you craft ammo on the fly, and it's kind of cool. And then your bird will go around and, you know, you'll be able to do stuff, and kind of a little awkward here. I'm just trying to get like the bird out of the way and then go and, you know, shoot things and get it done. But needless to say, I was blown away by what I was shown here. This is a truly impressive looking game. It was actually quite fun to play. I am very intrigued to see the full scope of this one, because I think they've got something really special here that goes beyond the scope of even, you know, films and stuff like that this game is based on. It really does try to do its own thing within that universe. And I think this is going to be a really exciting exploration of the planet, really exciting look into this world where you can explore it in the first person perspective, which is so cool. So I hope you enjoyed. This is just going to be non-commentary gameplay coming up. Again, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well. I hope you enjoyed this like in-depth look at the game, because this really is just breathtaking. It's yeah, I'm genuinely impressed by this. Great job, Ubisoft, on this one. Absolutely great job.
No kudu. Should take a closer look. Focus. That dead animal has no kuru. Should focus my senses. No kuru. Needs a closer look. That dead animal has no kuru. Should focus my senses. Thank you for these gifts. Good to see you, Floof. This site's a big one. Huge.
What? Oh, yeah. There's a survey data here about a big gas deposit, so they probably stuck a mining facility on top of it. The huge thing you're seeing is the reservoir. Well, one of them is, at least. It's all kind of big.
Don't let the weather dampen your spirits. Go out there and bag food.
If the reservoir loses its training pipes and generator, the pressure will just go through the roof.
They gotta be around here somewhere.